June D. Chichester said that June is about being in the world in new ways, with throwing off the cold and dark spots of life. And my word, this month has certainly been infused with darkness for me. So what albums, what music have I been listening to help penetrate the gloom? Let's find out, shall we? Welcome classic rock fans to an episode on the Turntable for June 2021. I'm going to do something different with this video. I haven't prepared any notes or done any research or done anything at all. I'm just going to do this off the cuff, do it commando style, so to speak. My word, what a frightening image that is. Anyway, the first album, I think, for this month, and that is the collected albums of Kansas, this box set in particular. This band's first 5 albums are exceptionally good. I really, really enjoy those. The interesting sound they have, combining elements of European prog with the violin as well, which almost seems like it's imbued with a sense of musical and cultural history of their own homeland as well. It just works beautifully. My favourite album by them is Left Overture. My favourite song by Kansas is from the album Mask, which I believe is their 3rd album. Is that? I could be wrong. There's a song called Icarus on Wings of Steel. What a wonderful track that is. Steve Walsh's voice is just remarkable. At this juncture, when Kansas were in their prime, his voice was something to behold. I've always said if I could sing like anybody, it would be Steve Walsh in his prime, or perhaps Lou Gramm, possibly. After those 5 albums, after The Point of No Return, of course we get the live album, then it all goes a bit Peter Tong, doesn't it? The album Monolith doesn't quite live up to the standards of the albums that preceded, in my opinion. They start to pursue a harder, more commercial rock sound, which the band immediately lose, what makes them intriguing for me. And then Heavens Above, they become a Christian rock band after Steve Walsh leaves, of course, and a couple of the members actually convert to become born-again Christians, and this affects the overall direction of the songwriting and the music. So, personally, I think, Kansas, those first 5 albums are the albums to listen to. I quite like some of the new stuff, which is very much harking back to that classic Kansas sound, and I might try and get to see them when they eventually come over here. My next one is this one, Black Sabbath's Born Again. This was kindly sent to me by a subscriber, I hope, from my Amazon wish list, which was nice. It's nice to receive little gifts like this, especially during times of darkness and sorrow. But this is an album that's always intrigued me. I had it on vinyl years ago. That blending of Ian Gillan's voice with that down-tuned sludge that is Black Sabbath's music just works so well as far as I'm concerned. I love the opening track, Trashed. It sounds like, reminds me a little bit of as I said, a down-tuned version of Highway Star. All great tracks on here. On this one, of course, it's got the Live at Reading Festival as well. Unfortunately, an event I didn't attend, but it's interesting to hear him singing War Pigs and Paranoid and stuff like that. I mean, Gillan's voice in his prime was just absolutely remarkable. I think one of my favourite rock voices, and I do love that combination of the two here, although some took against it at the time. Obviously you got Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, Ian Gillan and Bill Ward on here, all playing very, very well. My only beef with this record, not just the album cover. I know people have railed against the album cover. In fact, I think I did in my top 10 worst album covers, which is another story. But interesting for me, it's the sound of this record. It seems it's so badly produced. When I first put the CD on, I thought maybe I was listening to a CD of demos at first. It's just sounds not great, shall we say. It's one of those albums that desperately deserves and needs to be remixed. In fact, I might do a video on rock and metal albums that need to be remixed. This would certainly be in there. So this one I've been listening to a lot. Not that it's a particularly cheery album, but it's music reaches the places other things just cannot reach. Sounds like a Carlsberg advert. But and this album does it as well. I love Zero the Hero, Digital Bitch, Trash, Stone. I mean, they're all just wonderful tracks. It's an album that's much maligned and very underrated. I can't remember where I put it on my own Black Sabbath ranking, but often what you could remember with these ranking videos is albums might appear where they appear not because they're not very good, but as a testimony to the brilliance of what comes above it, I think. But great rock album. Next one is a couple of albums. This is the Steven Wilson remix of Gentle Giant's early stuff, the 3-piece suite, post Simon Dupree and the Big Sound, of course. And this we get these tracks from their 3 first albums. There's a good reason why Steven Wilson doesn't do a full remix of the first 3 albums. I think it's something to do with the tapes missing or unable to locate the original sources. It's really interesting to listen to see the sound of the band developing, over from 3 friends acquiring the taste. It's just really interesting. I love what Steven Wilson does with these remixes. I personally think he's very sensitive to the original mix, the original aesthetic of the music and the time when he does these. And this is just really good. I'm really enjoying it. Another one, of course, while we're on the topic of Gentle Giant, is I've been listening to this one, which the people at Gentle Giant kindly sent me. As I said, this is Gentle Giant's most accessible album. It's got tracks on here that you can, and lots of melodic hooks, and some nice guitar lines. It's, musically it's intricate, there's no doubt about that. We'd expect nothing less of this band, but it's not too convoluted and takes you down some strange and odd sonic paths. Interesting lyrical themes explored nevertheless, but an album that you can it would be a perfect introduction to those who didn't know anything about Gentle Giant. I certainly wouldn't foist Octopus on them at that point, although that is probably my favourite Gentle Giant album. Yes, and the Steven Wilson mix again. It's a lot of the instrumentation is clearer and sharper. The drums are clearer on this. It's just a wonderful mix. I mean, it sounds a sacrilegious thing to say, but I actually prefer this to the original vinyl. Ouch, I'm going to get some flack for that, I suspect. The next one is this album, which I've just reviewed and I listen to quite a lot at the moment. It's Altitude by Life Signs. Do check out my review on this record. Again, John Young kindly sent me this to listen to, which I'm incredibly grateful for, considering what it's currently going for on Amazon. The standout track for me is the title track, Altitude, which I have on repeat. There are lots of aspects from that opening song, the emotional sweep of it that really affect me at the moment. As I said, my mother passed recently, but there are certain lines and an overall atmosphere evoked by that track that really gets to me. I really enjoy that one. Gregarious is another favourite one of mine. They're all excellent. Do check out the review I've already put on there for this album. It's nice for me to start branching out and looking into some more neo-prog. Anyway, that's about it in an largely unedited. I've cut out all the farts and belches and things like that, so I wouldn't want to regale you with those. Largely unedited assessment of what I've been listening to in June. Those core principal albums. Been lots of other stuff as well. I've been exploring the King Crimson back catalogue. Lark's Tongues in Aspic is still one of my favourite Crimson albums. But there you go. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all staying well, safe, and enjoying the summer, what there is of it. But more importantly, that you do keep listening.